It was a bright, sunny afternoon when my nephew Ethan came to pick me up for a laid-back drive. He had brought along his friend Liam, which made me feel a mix of nerves and excitement. I had always found Liam to be charming, thanks to his easy smile and playful spirit, but since he was my nephew's friend, it complicated things a bit. Climbing into the back seat, I couldn't shake the sense that this ride might lead to something unexpected. As I settled in, I noticed how closely Liam was sitting next to me. His light-hearted teasing filled the car, and I found myself laughing more than I had in a long time. There was a certain spark in the air that seemed to grow stronger. "Where are we headed?" I asked, trying to keep the mood light. "Just cruising around," Ethan said, glancing back at me with a smile. "We thought we'd show you some sights," Liam added, leaning back with a playful gleam in his eyes. "Yeah, we might even find a place to grab a drink. What do you think?" I felt my cheeks heat up at the suggestion. "Drinks? I'm not sure that's a good idea." "Come on, live a little," Liam teased, nudging me playfully. "You're too young to be so serious all the time." I laughed, but inside I felt a thrill at his words. The flirtation was exhilarating, and despite my initial hesitation, I started to warm up to the idea. As we drove along, our conversation flowed easily. Liam would sneak glances at me, and I could sense the tension building. Although I was still a bit shy, I couldn't deny that I enjoyed his attention. Every compliment he gave made my heart race, and I was surprised by how much I wanted to flirt back. "Are you sure you're not secretly my age?" Liam asked, leaning in a little closer as we stopped at a red light. "You're way too fun to be an adult." I bit my lip, trying to hide my grin. "Well, maybe I'm just good at pretending," I replied, feeling a surge of confidence. "That's not pretending, that's being real," he said earnestly. "I think that's fantastic." Before I knew it, I was teasing him right back. "So you're into older women?" I asked playfully. "Who wouldn't be?" Liam shot back, winking at me through the rearview mirror. At that moment, I caught Ethan glancing at us, and I noticed a mix of confusion and amusement on his face. A wave of guilt hit me, but I was too caught up in the moment to pull back. Suddenly, Liam turned into a quiet park, and my heart raced as he turned off the engine. "Let's take a break, the view is nice here," he suggested. Stepping out of the car, I breathed in the refreshing air. We strolled around, chatting and laughing, and I felt the chemistry between Liam and me intensifying. I wasn't just the shy aunt anymore. I was flirty, playful, and enjoying the attention. "Can I just say," Liam said, leaning against a tree, "you look amazing today." "Seriously?" I blushed, the compliment hitting me harder than I expected. "Thanks, but you're not too shabby yourself," I replied, feeling giddy as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow around us. Liam moved a bit closer, his gaze locked onto mine. "You know, I didn't expect to have this much fun today." "Me neither," I admitted, my heart racing. The air felt thick with unspoken tension, and I could sense myself leaning in, yearning for more. Just then a sudden noise broke the moment. A group of people laughing as they walked by. The spell was broken and I stepped back, suddenly feeling shy again. "Maybe we should get back in the car," I suggested, attempting to regain my composure. "Why are you scared?" Liam teased, stepping closer. "Not scared," I shot back playfully, but I could feel my heart pounding as we headed back. I noticed Ethan watching us intently, panic washing over me. Had he noticed the chemistry between Liam and me? Once we climbed back into the car, the atmosphere was electric. I could tell Liam was still thinking about what had just happened in the park. He looked at me, a playful challenge in his eyes, as if daring me to flirt back. "Let's see how fast this baby can go," Liam said, revving the engine to break the tension. "Are you serious?" I exclaimed, feeling a mix of exhilaration and nerves. "Just a little race," he replied, his excitement contagious. "Hold on." With that, he hit the gas and we sped down the road. The thrill of the speed combined with the adrenaline from our earlier flirtation was intoxicating. I felt alive, the wind whipping through my hair, and I couldn't help but scream with joy as Liam expertly navigated the turns. The car swerved slightly, making my heart race even faster. I noticed the focus in his expression, the way his muscles tensed as he drove, and it was hard to ignore how attractive he looked. Suddenly, he took a sharp turn into a secluded area, and I felt a rush of fear mixed with excitement. "Where are we going?" I asked, my voice a blend of thrill and anxiety. Just trust me, Liam said, a mischievous smile spreading across his face. We parked near a hidden spot by a small pond, the evening light creating a magical ambience. I glanced over at Liam, who was watching me intently, and my heart fluttered. What now? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Now we just enjoy this moment, he replied softly, his eyes fixed on mine. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken words and feelings that remained unacknowledged. I could sense the chemistry drawing me closer. Liam leaned in slightly and I held my breath, unsure of what would happen next. Just then, Ethan's voice interrupted from outside the car. Hey, are you guys okay in there? He called out, sounding a bit anxious. I jumped back, my heart racing and feeling exposed. Liam looked at me with wide eyes, a mix of surprise and amusement. Looks like we got caught, he chuckled softly. I couldn't help but laugh too, though I felt a bit embarrassed. Yeah, just having a heart-to-heart, I shouted back, trying to keep things light. Come on, let's hurry up. Ethan called from outside, reminding us it was time to leave. Liam turned to me, and the air felt electric once again. You know, he said in a low voice, we can pick this up later, right? I nodded, excitement and nervousness swirling in my stomach. The ride back was a different experience. The playful tension simmering between Liam and me was palpable, filling me with a thrilling anticipation about what might unfold next. As we drove away, I could sense a charge in the atmosphere, as if something had shifted. Today felt like the beginning of something. Those flirty moments, the rush of adrenaline, the shared excitement, all felt like a secret waiting to blossom. I knew I had crossed a line today, and I couldn't help but wonder just how far I was willing to venture. The energy in the car was buzzing as we headed back. Liam kept stealing glances at me, and I could feel the heat between us growing stronger. Ethan, in the front seat, remained blissfully unaware of the tension brewing behind him. So, did you two enjoy your little adventure? Ethan asked with a laugh as we merged back onto the main road. Absolutely, Liam said with a sly grin that made my heart skip a beat. I shot him a playful look, half laughing and half warning him to keep it together. I couldn't shake the thrill of our moment by the pond. The way he had leaned in and that spark in his eyes played in my mind like a highlight reel. The drive continued, and Liam's vibrant energy next to me felt magnetic, drawing me in. When we arrived at the restaurant, I was struck by its cozy atmosphere, with soft lighting and a relaxed vibe. We found a table, and Liam slid into the seat directly across from me, leaving Ethan in the middle. I could feel the tension hanging in the air, and it made me giddy as we looked over the menu. Liam's gaze kept flicking up to meet mine over the top of his menu. So what are you having tonight? He asked, a smirk on his lips. Probably just a drink, I replied, trying to sound casual. What about you? I'll go with whatever you choose, he said, leaning in a bit closer. I bet it'll taste better that way. Ethan laughed, completely oblivious to our flirtation. You two are ridiculous. Just order something already. I couldn't help but smile. Liam's playful banter was intoxicating, and I felt like I was on a thrilling ride I never wanted to end. Once the drinks arrived, our conversation flowed seamlessly. We shared jokes, poked fun at each other, and swapped stories that made the time fly. Yet, beneath it all, there was still that lingering tension, an electric connection that refused to fade. Just then I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. I pulled it out to see a text from a friend asking about dinner plans. I looked up to find Liam watching me closely, a playful smile on his lips. Got a hot date, he teased, his eyes sparkling. I rolled my eyes, a blush creeping onto my cheeks. No, just my friend checking in. Tell her you're busy, he said, leaning closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. We're having too much fun to let anyone interrupt us. The proximity of his voice sent a delightful thrill down my spine, and I felt my cheeks warm. Maybe I'll just keep her hanging, I replied, feeling daring. While Ethan continued chatting about a recent game, I could feel Liam's playful gaze on me. You know, he said suddenly, I bet you've got a wild side lurking beneath that sweet facade. I laughed, trying to deflect. Wild? I think you've got me confused with someone else. Oh, I don't think so, Liam said, leaning back in his chair with a thoughtful look. I can see a little fire in you. The words lingered in the air between us, and I felt a rush of both embarrassment and exhilaration. An idea flashed through my mind. How about we make this interesting? Let's have a little challenge, I suggested, feeling bold. What kind of challenge? Liam asked, intrigued. Let's play a game of truth or dare, I proposed, glancing at Ethan. We can keep it fun and lighthearted. Count me in, Ethan exclaimed, clearly thrilled by the idea. Liam nodded, and the game was on. We kicked off with simple truths, sharing silly secrets that sparked laughter in the cozy restaurant. When it was Liam's turn, he smirked. All right, I dare you to take a picture of me looking suave. He struck a ridiculous pose, and I snapped the photo, our eyes locking for a brief moment that felt charged with meaning. Now that's a keeper, Liam said with a grin. Then it was my turn again. I hesitated for a moment, adrenaline coursing through me. Truth or dare, Liam? Dare, he said confidently. I dare you to give me your best pickup line, I challenged, raising an eyebrow. He leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a playful whisper. Are you a magician? Because every time I look at you, everyone else disappears. A rush of warmth flooded my cheeks, and the world around us seemed to fade away for a moment. Okay, that was impressive, I admitted, trying to play it cool. Your turn, Ethan, Liam said, clearly enjoying the game. Ethan chose truth, and we took turns teasing him about his crushes and embarrassing moments. Meanwhile, I could feel Liam's lingering gaze on me, sending butterflies flitting around in my stomach as the game progressed. The stakes were rising. I dared Liam to sing me a cheesy love song, and he launched into it, making everyone around us laugh. Next, I dared Ethan to give a heartfelt speech about why he loves his art, and he managed to make it both touching and funny. Finally, it was my turn again. Truth or dare, Liam? I asked, my heart racing. Dare, he said confidently. Leaning in slightly, my heart pounding, I declared, I dare you to kiss me. The restaurant seemed to hold its breath at my bold request. Liam's eyes widened in surprise, and I could feel Ethan's shock beside me. For a fleeting moment, time froze. I wondered if I had crossed a line I couldn't come back from, but then Liam's expression shifted, a playful smirk returning. All right. Challenge accepted, he said, leaning in before I could react. He pressed his lips against mine in a soft, teasing kiss that sent a shiver of electricity through my body. Fireworks exploded in my mind. It was everything I had been holding back. The kiss lingered, and I could hear Ethan cough awkwardly beside us when we finally pulled apart. My heart raced, exhilaration coursing through my veins. Wow, you really went for it, Ethan exclaimed, a mix of surprise and laughter dancing in his voice. Liam grinned at me, clearly enjoying the moment. I told you I'd take on any challenge, Liam said, his gaze teasing and daring. Just then my phone buzzed, cutting through the charged atmosphere. I glanced down and my heart plummeted. It was a text from my husband, asking where I was and when I'd be home. Oh no, I murmured, a wave of panic washing over me. I really need to go. Are you all right? Ethan asked, concern creeping into his voice. I'm fine, I replied, though my uncertainty was evident. The exhilaration of what had just happened clashed with the anxiety in my chest. I could feel the excitement mixing with fear as I looked at Liam, who mirrored my surprise. Let's wrap this up, Liam said, trying to keep the mood light. But I'm not letting you off the hook that easily, he added, giving me a playful nudge. As we walked back to the car, I felt the tension still hanging in the air, a reminder of the thrill I had just experienced. The ride back was filled with laughter and lighthearted teasing, but inside, my heart raced with the realization of what I had just set in motion. When I stepped out of the car, I turned to Liam, our eyes locking for one final electric moment. This isn't the end of it, he said softly. No, it's just the start, I replied, my feelings a whirlwind of excitement and trepidation. With that, I walked away, fully aware that I had crossed a line and that nothing would be the same again. As I moved away from the car, I felt Liam's intense gaze on me, sending a shiver down my spine. My heart raced and I fought to regain my breath. The intoxicating thrill of the kiss and our daring flirtation lingered in my mind, but the weight of reality loomed over me like a gathering storm. I hurried home, my thoughts consumed by Liam and our undeniable connection. What had I done? That kiss felt like a spark igniting a fire within me, one I hadn't even known existed. But as I pulled into my driveway, reality hit hard. I had a husband waiting for me, and I couldn't let this impulsive moment spiral out of control. Once inside, I found my husband lounging on the couch, scrolling through his phone. "Hey, you're back early," he said, looking up with a friendly smile. "How was dinner?" I forced a smile, my mind still reeling from memories of Liam's playful expression and the taste of his kiss. "It was good. Just catching up with the guys," I replied, striving for a casual tone. But as I settled in, my phone buzzed again. It was a message from Liam, lingering in my thoughts. My heart raced as I opened it. "Yes, but we shouldn't have done that. It was a mistake." Before I could process the message, another buzz interrupted me. "Mistake or not, I can't stop thinking about it. Can we meet tomorrow?" Panic surged within me. I didn't want to hurt anyone, yet the allure of the situation was undeniable. I was about to respond when I heard my husband's voice behind me. "Who are you texting?" he asked, his tone suddenly alert. I froze, my pulse quickening. "No one important," I stammered, hastily flipping my phone face down on the table. He raised an eyebrow, skepticism etched across his face. "You look a bit flustered. Is everything okay?" "Yeah, just a long day," I replied, forcing a lightness into my voice, but as I met his gaze, I noticed the flicker of doubt in his eyes. Just then my phone buzzed again, this time with a new message. I picked it up and my heart sank at what I saw. It was a picture of Liam, his playful grin captured in a candid moment. But in the background, my stomach dropped as I recognized my husband's car parked outside the restaurant. "What's wrong?" he asked, noticing my sudden stillness. I turned the phone toward him, and his expression shifted to one of shock as he processed the image. "You were with him?" he demanded, his voice tense. "No, it's not what you think," I protested, panic tightening its grip around me. "Then why do you have a picture of him?" he shot back, his tone sharp and accusatory. Just then my phone buzzed again with a new message from Liam. "I saw you at the restaurant. Let's keep this between us, all right?" My heart sank further, and I felt the walls closing in. "Liam, what have you done?" I whispered, dread filling my chest. My husband's expression morphed from anger to disbelief. "You were flirting with him. You kissed him." "It was just a kiss. It didn't mean anything," I shouted, desperation creeping into my voice. "You don't get it." But then the twist came. My husband reached into his pocket and revealed his own phone, displaying a text thread with Liam. "I guess you didn't realize I was aware of your little game," he said, his voice low and filled with tension. "What? You've been texting him?" I gasped, my mind racing to comprehend the situation. "Liam told me everything. I've been waiting for you to come clean," he said, hurt and anger flickering in his eyes. The air grew heavy with tension, and I felt exposed, trapped in a web of lies. I couldn't believe Liam had orchestrated this entire mess, and now it was all unraveling before me. "I wanted to surprise you," my husband continued, his voice trembling with emotion. "I didn't think you'd actually go through with it. But here we are." I was left speechless, the gravity of the situation dawning on me. I thought I had crossed a line, but Liam had been playing his own game all along. My heart raced as I grasped the implications of what was happening. "So what now?" I finally managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. My husband took a deep breath, visibly shaken. "I want the truth. No more games. Did you really want him? Or was this just a fleeting moment?" Tears welled in my eyes as I felt torn between the thrill of what had happened and the reality of my marriage. "I don't know," I admitted, feeling utterly lost. He looked at me, searching for clarity in my eyes. "You have until tomorrow to make your choice. But know this. If you pick him, this is over." The weight of his words hung in the air, heavy with consequence. Liam had turned this into a game, and now it was my turn to decide as my husband turned away. I felt a mix of dread and exhilaration wash over me. I stood at a crossroads, acutely aware that the decision I made could alter everything. With a final glance at my phone, I saw Liam's last message. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." I was caught between two worlds, two men, and I knew that whatever choice I made would bring consequences I could scarcely imagine. This story wasn't finished, it was just beginning.